I remember when you couldn't give away the 556 imported AKs for almost free. It's funny how the little bit of sanctions on guns and ammo work like. Fast forward to 2024 and everyone wants to have a 556 AK. Today we are going to talk about Century Arms BFT 556. Chambered in 556 by 45, BFT weighs almost 7 pounds unloaded. Most of that weight comes from the bulged forged trunnion, which is sitting inside 1.5mm thick receiver. Barrel is chrome-lined, chrome moly 4150 steel, and it is 16.25 inches long. Muzzle ends with the 14-1 left-handed threads. I have to say that initial quality was very good, and I did not observe any problems with the rivets or fitment of parts. But we did run into the problem fairly quickly once shooting started. We only had 2 malfunctions in this rifle. Both times it happened when using Wolf 55 grain steel cased ammo. The first time it was a failure to extract, and you can see that basically the extractor claw slipped out from the rim of the case, and then next case was picked up on when the bolt was cycling, creating the jam. Okay, so after experiencing problems with the steel cased ammo, we're going to make up the cocktail right now, focus on that. So you see we got the rounds, brass cased rounds and the steel cased rounds, and I'm going to put one brass, one steel case and so on, and we're going basically mix them at the same time. That's like the worst case scenario, and see if the problem with the tight chamber persists. It failed extraction. So we will see. This should spook that. Usually when you put the cocktail like this, when you're mixing the steel cased ammo and brass case ammo, that doesn't jelly very well. So we'll see what's going to happen. So 30 rounds of the cocktail, steel case and the brass. Going to shoot in a like control outbursts on that target. It's not going to be a continuous dump, just like a quick shooting, pause, quick shooting, pause. We'll see where this is going to take us. Okay, well, are ready? Okay, so the whole mag went out and there's no round in the chamber, so that worked out very well. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to put purely steel cased ammo and we'll go from there. Almost full mag and steel, yep, that's it. So fully steel cased ammo only. Wolf goes back to the head. We don't leave the trash. Let's go on that target again and see what we can do with that. It's a quick way to dump almost for today's price like $15. Not cool, man. All right, round in the chamber. Ola, you ready? All right, the same drill, okay? Okay, for sure, smoking a can. There you go, nothing here and nothing in the chamber. So yeah, run like a champ. We're going to keep using the steel case ammo, but for now I'm going to call that this was a fluke, that one failure to extract was a fluke. So, but we'll go from there. So far so good. I'm happy with the results. What happened now? The second time we had the problem, it was also with the Wolf steel cased ammo. This time I think that the magazine was more at fault than anything else. What kind of magazines you can use in this rifle? Well, it takes a barrel magazines, and I also used the Palmetto State Armory magazines. I'm not sure if Palmetto is making them. I just purchased them from their website. Of course, it comes with their own magazine too. And this magazine and the Palmetto State Armory magazine, they worked the best. Zero issues with both of these magazines. Going back to the barrel magazine gave me a troubles once, and I think it was related to the magazine spring. I'm not so sure yet. This is something what I will keep an eye on, and maybe we'll have another update down the road later on. So how is BFT 556 actually performing? Shooting this rifle is very pleasant. There is nothing to worry about as far as the recoil goes. That being said, you will feel that you have that rifle in the hand. This is not the lightest AK on the block. Performance-wise, this is clearly not the 1MOA rifle. That being said, you're not going to have any problems smacking IPSC size targets within the 500 yards. This rifle can deliver, and if you will manage to put an optic on it, which I think this rifle truly deserves to be run with an optic, you are going to have tons of fun. Rifle was clean, so let's start the autopsy. Okay, we'll start with the bolt carrier. The bolt carrier, right off the bat, we can see there is some folding of the rear end on the bolt carrier. And this is basically just from shooting, so obviously nothing else was happened to it. It's not looking bad, but this is something what you will have to watch, and hopefully that stopped. But this is something what has to be watched moving forward. Other than this, in a camming channel or anything, I don't see really any unusual wear marks. Here we got something, but nothing really screams out. And let me rotate the bolt carrier. Also, the piston head is looking spotless and nice. So the only point of concern we got is right here on that rear end for the bolt carrier. Now we're going to switch to the bolt. And bolt, I will show you first how the bolt is looking like so you can see what's happening. This is absolutely clean too, so you can see all the edges, shapes, and things like this. Let me flip it that way so you guys have a better view. And the one thing what I'm going to tell you about the bolt, I was unable to disassemble the bolt. And the reason for this is what's happening. I destroyed all my punching tools. You can see how that one deformed. And then I even use my old trick for the drill bits, and that didn't help either. I couldn't get out that retainer pin for the firing pin. It's just it didn't work out. So I was unable to take out the bolt apart and check the extractor claw. But from the looks, everything outside is looking normal. But I don't like when you got the basically fused so or pressed so hard that retainer pin. the user should be able to take the bolt apart. So what I'm going to resort to, I'm going to buy more more punching tools and bigger hammer, and we're going to remove that retainer pin at some point, for sure. But at least you got the look from outside how this is looking like. Before we'll jump to the receiver, this is standard recoil spring. This is of course our gasket. Guys, I always use this on a case. It helps tremendously keeping the garbage away from your face when you're shooting. But basically the recoil spring, nothing special. It's just standard recoil spring. And now we're going to turn our attention into the receiver, and we're going to look at the locking locks. So this is the right side locking lock. Everything here with the naked eye is looking okay. There is wear as to expected from cycling, but I don't see any folding. Maybe a little bit here on the edge, but not that much. I would say for that amount of the round which we spend, that will be normal. What you see here, this is clearly the bolt hitting that edge, something to keep an eye to. See this point, this spot. And I'm going to flip it to the other side now. So Ulla can show you the left side. And we got the left side right there. Again, this looks absolutely normal. I don't see any unusual wear there. I think I'm more concerned, one more time the look, I'm more concerned about a little bit here, but at this point, nothing to worry about it. Yet, definitely something to keep an eye on it. And the trigger hammer, everything else here in the receiver is looking normal. I don't see anything jumping out and screaming for help. We're going to flip the receiver upside down and try to see, Ola, can you move it? Like, can you show it anything there? No, this is all looking good. I don't see anywhere there that trunnion doesn't have any cracks or anything, and it is holding up nicely. So this is looking good. Since we got the handguard out, quick look at the barrel. This is that front handguard retainer bracket. Everything here is looking good. Pins are holding up in the gas block or in the rear post barrel pin. All the rivets are looking good as well. Ola, you can give them the look for the rivets. Each rivet, if you can scan it quickly on this side, they're all looking good. I don't see any troubles with that. I'm going to flip receiver again to this side so we can show the rivets on this side. And they're all looking good. I don't see any deformations. I don't see anything crazy about those rivets. So receiver wise, we are still holding up very, very, I would say nicely at this point. Let's check for the trigger guard rivets. The rivets are looking good for a trigger guard as well. This is what you want to see on the rifle. All right, I want to talk about the side rail now. So side rail will give you some trouble. It's not the same. It's not up to the regular AKM standard, and that opening here, Century opted out to go with the different dimensions, and you should be seeing the picture and you can see the difference between AKM and what the Century elected to do so. That means that some mounts, like for example AK Master mount for the AKM, will have a trouble closing on that side rail because the Master mount is using that cutout completely to provide the extra friction point and tension point to secure the optic mount. So you will have to modify it. Speaking about the modification, let me switch to let's talk about the furniture. So this is regular AKM furniture. This is Century Arms furniture. And as you can see, and I'll try to make it visible, the standard AKM furniture is wider at the bottom portion right here. And this is basically because what the Century did with the receiver, since this is the thicker receiver, they have to take off more material. So what it means for you guys is that if you want to put the regular AKM furniture, you will have to do some trimming on the sides in order to fit that into the receiver opening right here. So in order to fit those handguards to the receiver opening, because we got the thicker receiver, you will have to do some serious filing. Now that brings, of course, the point of aftermarket rail systems and things like this. If you want to have something different than wood on those rifles, then be ready for some serious Dremel action tool, and you will have to do a lot of fitting. It's easy to work with the wood, but if you start switching to those metal aluminum ones, handguards, that's going to be some work. So be ready and be prepared for that. Rifle comes, of course, with cleaning rod. Cleaning rod was included. Nothing spectacular about this. And we do have 74 style muzzle brake. This is again that standard equipment on that rifle. And as you can see, the barrel is threaded at the muzzle and in 14-1 left-handed thread. So that's the interesting choice on the part of the Century. Interesting decision. They elected to go with the 14-1 threads on those barrels. In my eyes, since this is clearly not the clone and it cannot really serve as a host for any cloning or anything, and they changed so much on it, it probably would be a better to have the US threads on the muzzle end, but that's just my opinion. I'm telling you what is here. I have also noticed that on the left side of the handguard retention bracket, there is no sling loop. And I don't know if this is just a mistake on my rifle, because usually on the BFT series, they do have a sling loops. But on that rifle, I do not have the sling loop. There is a sling loop at the end of the buttstock, but there is no sling loop up front, which, as I said, usually they do have those sling loops on the BFT series family of the rifles. And the rifle comes with the US Palm grip by standard. So what you're seeing here on the table, that's basically standard issue equipment with this rifle. I honestly struggled at the beginning to come up with the answer to the question to who the BFT 556 will be addressed to. Who should run this rifle? But now I think I do have a good idea. In my eyes, this is a perfect AK style rifle to run in the competitions and have fun. Unfortunately, because of the rifle construction, you will be pretty much confined to the very simple set of furniture and optic. So if you're thinking about accessorizing it, just be aware that that's going to take a lot of work from you to make any set of rails or custom buttstocks to fit into that rifle. Once you accept that, I think you should put that rifle on your radar. Now, from what we are seeing inside the receiver and from bolt and the bolt carrier, I would say that the more testing is required to be done on this rifle. We have to have a better understanding how this rifle will perform during extended period of testing. That unfortunately is getting expensive per today's ammo prices. As you may know, the prices are a little bit out of whack, but it is what it is. Another solution or a target audience for this rifle would be someone who is looking for the 5.56 AK style beater gun. You want to throw it into your truck just in case and have it. This suits like a good option on the table to think about it. Okay, that's it from me. Thank you for watching. Please let me know if you have any questions underneath of the video. See you next time.